As usual, as we meet every week to play with the transits, we have this interplay, this layering of awareness and embodiment. You can come into these calls and we are looking at design, we're looking at the gate in transit, we're looking at the harmonic gate to that one, and we're also looking at where the earth is. So we have an opposition in the wheel and the harmonic gate, and then we're weaving with each other. So when we are able to layer awareness with embodiment, that is actually how we evolve and how we come into the true deconditioning, where we're able to live our true self. And that has to do with being alive, being home in our bodies, in every cell of our being. That's going to be so important as we go into sixth line reality, because the only true compass is going to be that cellular compass of what feels right, what we are responding to naturally in our lives. This is a depiction of gate archetype 59. We call this archetype the playmate. It is in transit from August 23rd to August 28th. In human design, this is the gate of sexuality. In the I Ching, we call this hexagram dispersion. In the gene keys, this is the shadow of dishonesty, the city of transparency, and then the human pathway, where we want to anchor, is the pathway of intimacy. If we look at this gate in an astrological sense, it is part of Virgo season. Virgo is mutable earth. We have earth 3 times in the wheel. So first time it's fixed earth in Taurus. Second time, where we are now, it's mutable earth in Virgo. And then third time in Capricorn, we have cardinal earth. Virgo is the leaf, always reaching for the light of spirit and doing the inner work that feeds the tree. We say that Virgo is the independent priestess or the green man. Here we have service to spirit through the devotion to sacred work. And in the wheel, we can see that we have the 6th sign here, that is Virgo, which in modern astrology, it's also connected to the 6th house. And here we have the ruler, which is Mercury. And that's the second time in the wheel. We have Mercury ruling Gemini, and then the second time that we have Mercury as a ruler is ruling Virgo. Virgo is more feminine than Gemini. So it's ruling one feminine sign and one masculine sign. This goes back to evolution astrology, which is the astrology that I anchor in. Very important in evolution astrology, especially when we work with evolution and with Pluto, to look at the other side of the wheel. But wherever we are, it's always that integration of polarities, that whole axis. So we have gate 59 in Virgo on one side of the wheel, and then the opposite is gate 55 in Pisces. So Pisces and Virgo, we can see that dishonesty and victimization go hand in hand, intimacy and freedom go hand in hand, and transparency and freedom also go hand in hand. We can also see that we have mirror opposites in the hexagram. So wherever the 59 has a yin line, we're going to find a yang line in the 55 and vice versa. Important to know here the way that it works in the incarnation cross. So in the incarnation cross, we have 2 pairs of opposites. So if you have the 59 in your incarnation cross, you're also going to have the 55. And there's one more place in the human design chart where you have those opposites, and that's in the nodes. So if you have the 59 in your nodes, the sign personality, you're also going to have the 55. Going back again to where are we on the wheel? We are here in Virgo. We are in the quarter of duality. This is where the purpose is fulfilled through relationships. So here we learn to serve ourselves and each other in balance in Virgo. And then we go into Libra, which is about those long-term partnerships over a lifetime. Can be business partnerships, can be marriage partnerships, those long partnerships where we find that Libra balance. And then we go all the way to Scorpio, and that's the even more intimate and deep merging that comes in those gates. And here in the very beginning, we have Leo, which is that leadership, that social part of the wheel that starts here with Leo, where we need to have an audience to have that heart, that passion go out in the world. Let's go into the human design mechanics. So in the body graph, we have gate 59 in the sacral center. This is a motor. Here we have life force and sexuality, and that's the name of this gate in human design, the gate of sexuality. And here you have the other 8 gates that are living in this hub or this center. If you have it defined, you're going to be either a generator or a manifesting generator. That's your aura. So here we're looking at the whole entire process, and we have a hanging gate in the body graph. It's always looking for the other side because it's only when two harmonic gates meet that we have the whole process. So whether you have it in yourself, then you're not really looking out for it. If you have either the 59 or the 6 hanging, you're always looking to complete the process. The process here is called the channel of mating, a design focused on reproduction. This is a generated channel because it comes from the center that generates the sacral center. The theme here, you have a very powerful auric field that penetrates others very deeply. It is easy for you to be intimate very quickly with almost anyone. What comes natural for you is not for others, which is why others may misunderstand you. When we have the playmate, some keywords, seed energy, intimacy, and spirals of life. For the 6, the keywords are balance, sensitivity, and regulation. And then what I really love, always when we look at the channel, is to look at the frequency band for the whole entire channel. And like I said in the beginning, the gift frequency is always the human pathway. It's always what we are anchoring. So looking at this whole channel in integral human design terms, which is where we have the frequency band, that is the work of Richard Rudd together with Werner Pitzel. And they're actually going to release a course on human design this year they haven't been working on. So 246 is working on human design, and both of them have been anchored also in other systems, whether it's psychology for Werner or more, of course, the gene keys for Richard Rudd. It's going to be interesting to see what they are doing. Richard gave me a sneak peek into it, and it's very poetic. So I'm looking forward to see what it's going to be. So going back to the keywords, when you have dishonesty and conflict, that is the same as defense. When you have intimacy and diplomacy, that creates fruitfulness. And when you have transparency and peace, that is fusion. Because that's two auras, have nothing to hide, are completely there, no walls up, complete surrender. And in that peace of being, well, that's when you can really fuse together. That's beautiful. And it connects to this theme of spirit that we can see in the 59 and the 55. Here we go even further out. So we're not only looking at that one process, that would be the 59 and the 6, we're going even further out. And in the body graph, there are 3 main circuitries. We have tribal, collective, and individual. Now we are in tribal circuitry. Here the keynote is support. In all these gates that you're seeing here, archetypes that like to sit around the same table, sleep in the same bed, they care about each other, they support each other. And it is for the tribe not only to survive, but for the tribe to thrive. And it has to do with the material plane. And in this specific case, we're going to see that we are in the part of the tribal circuitry that is called the fence circuit. We only have 4 gates there. In this channel, we are making babies, the channel meeting. And then on this side, we are educating the children so that they get our values. But we're also nurturing them so that they can grow up and they can hold the tribe in generation after generation. So the last perspective that we're going to look at is the I Ching perspective. And this is the oldest perspective where human design and gene keys come from. It's 384 lines of the wheel. So we have 64 gates or hexagrams, and there are 6 lines in each one of them. Looking at this part, we are going to have all the hexagrams that have the water trigram on the bottom. So a hexagram is made up of 2 trigrams. 3 lines plus 3 lines make 6 lines. For the 59, we have water on the bottom, and also for these other archetypes, there's water on the bottom. And there are 8 different elements, and they are all coded by a trigram. There's going to be a different combination of open and closed lines. So in this specific case, we have wind on top of water. So water, like we said, on the bottom, and then wind on top. And if we go back to what most of you are more used to using, we do have a way of looking at the gene keys that is connected to the trigrams and the hexagrams. So when we have gene key or gate 29, that is a gate or gene key that is made up of 2 trigrams of water. There are 8 different gene keys or gates that are made up of the same element twice. And when we have the 57, we're going to have wind over wind. So we could say that the 59 is made up of those archetypal energies of water and wind, and translating that into gene keys, then it will be Jinky 29 and Jinky 57. Let's see what that becomes in this magical Jinkies geometry. The shadow of dishonesty is the unease of half-heartedness. It's like when you're dishonest, it feels like your heart can't be, so the unease of half-heartedness. The city, transparency, is the clarity of devotion. Like I always say and repeat, the human pathway, what we anchor in, is the gift frequency. So the most important thing here, if you want to remember this gene key, this hexagram, intimacy is intuitive commitment. Leaning into that, yes, intuitively just leaning in. I'm here, yes, I'm opening. There is a fusion between our auras, maybe even between more than our auras, depending on what kind of intimacy we're leaning into. And let's look at it from this Abaxis 3D perspective as well. This is a system that is coding the trigrams and hexagrams as astrological correspondences. So when we're looking at those two trigrams, we can see that the wind is connected through the green color to Virgo. And then when we have the water on the bottom, that is connected to Scorpio. So we could say, if we want to understand this on an archetypal level, this hexagram, the 59, it is a combination of Scorpio and Virgo. I see this very much like this tantric lover. And when we have that, we have the healing ability of Virgo, but we also have the depth and the merging in Scorpio. And here you have a depiction of what that could look like, the 59 standing and welcoming you into the healing waters of Virgo. So let's go a little bit deeper in this coding as well. You can also see here that he's speaking about the sixth house or sixth sign, so Virgo, eighth house, eighth sign, and that is Scorpio. Another thing that we don't usually know with gene keys or human design is that there are hidden trigrams within a hexagram. And that is when we don't look at the top line and we don't look at the bottom line. We're going to have one trigram here and we're going to have one trigram here. That means that inside of the 59, we have the hidden trigram of thunder and the hidden trigram of mountain. And that is where we can get a recommendation. So if you're using the I Ching and you are predicting things or you want to have luck through it, you know that it can give you those recommendations. In this one, we are speaking about healing. The verb here is to heal. And we heal to dispel fear and confusion. We heal so that we can have that peace, that fusion. And when we are using the inner trigrams, so mountain and thunder, we get the recommendation, the secret in here that we can't see on the outside, and that is to mobilize what is stagnant. So mobilize thunder, it moves and mobilizes. And then stagnant, we could say it's the mountain, but it's not necessarily in a bad way, but in this one, we need to move it. So if the mountain is here to be peaceful, but it's not here to be just stagnant and heavy. When we have the 59, we're healing through dispelling the fear and the confusion, and we are starting to mobilize what's stagnant. And that goes back to what the 59 is. In the Gene Keys, we can read about this serpent energy, this kundalini start to rise and circulate through us. And that is exactly mobilizing what's stagnant. And I often say that through movement and sound and touch and breath, we are able to mobilize the energy in our body, and then we can become aware of what is stagnant and what we need to face so that we can integrate it or we can heal it.